Hey, what's up guys? Jack and Matt here with the Toasty Bros, and today we're going to be doing a $500 3100 gaming PC build.
This is a great PC for those who are on a tight budget. But before we get into this PC build, let's hear a word from today's sponsor. Today's video is brought to you by GVGMall, an online marketplace to gain access to some really awesome discounted game keys, and more specifically, Windows 10 licenses.
And if you're interested, use the link down below and buy the Windows 10 Pro activation using our code TB20 to get 20% off.
All you have to do to activate Windows 10 license is buy the key by using code TB20 and then throw the Windows 10 key into your Windows 10 activation on the system you wish to install it in, and boom, you have activated Windows 10 and you no longer have to look at that horrible watermark in the bottom right corner.
So thanks again to GVGMall for sponsoring this video.
Let's get right into the video, shall we? Now, just a quick disclaimer before we get into this PC build. Pricing right now around the world is kinda sucky, and this PC, when we did part it out, was around $500, but there is some availability issues on some of this hardware. You should be able to get everything for the same price, but you might have to wait a good amount of time for stuff to come in stock, especially on Amazon. But please use the link in the description down below. We'll try to keep that as updated as we can so you get the best prices on all these parts and kind of suggest some alternatives if for some reason when this video goes live, parts are even less available. So how about we go ahead and talk about each individual part and how it makes up this build.
Alright guys, the hype is there. This is the Ryzen 3100, which is a 4-core 8-threaded processor. You get to see we did some benchmarks with it, and it is surprisingly really good. So we're expecting to actually be able to somewhat have an upgrade path with this. If you want to go with a little bit better parts, you actually could with this processor. Now, because this was a sample, ours did not come with the cooler, so here is the cooler that I think this would likely come with. It's just the basic AMD Wraith cooler. For the motherboard, these are kind of somewhat available at the moment. It's a ASRock B450M HDV, really common board. You can usually get them for 60 to 70. They do have a decent amount of micro ATX options at the moment, so hopefully, links in the description down below will still be updated and you guys can actually get your hands on a B450 now. And of course, this does say it is 3000 ready, so should not do any type of BIOS update. Should be able to just plop this in there and have it working. So you guys know that we really do love RGB RAM. Well, this isn't it. We don't love it. No, I'm just kidding. It's actually pretty awesome because it's 16 gigs of only 2 8 gig sticks at 3000 megahertz. So really good speed, honestly, very cheap pricing. You can get this type of stuff for usually under $70. So, you know, highly recommend if you don't want the bling, go with something a little bit cheaper so you can get the best performance per dollar. You guys know that we love keeping cable management to the full max. So this is the Crucial P1. This is an NVMe 500 gig M.2 SSD. Now these are awesome because you don't need any extra cables. They just plug straight into the motherboard and it's like they're not even there. So 500 gigs and it's not even there.
Now for the graphics card, we went with this Gigabyte GTX 1650 Super. Now the main reason we went with this card is it's really the best value card right now that you can get new. You could go with something like an RX 580 if you wanted to, but right now prices on those are kind of close to the same price as this new. So it's not really worth going the used RX 580 route for once, but if prices do get better, that is an option if you do want to save some money. Check the links in the description down below. But this card is great for 1080p gaming, 60 FPS on a majority of titles, and you will see that when we dive into the benchmarks. And as for the power supply, we went with our legendary Thermaltake Smart 500 watt power supply. It has, well, not super great looking cables, but it does come in at a decent price compared to all the other ones on the market right now. It is at a premium though, at around like $47 at the time of filming this video. So do keep in mind, power supplies are kind of expensive and it does make us sad, but this one does the job and we've used it in numerous builds here on the channel. Now this right here is our combo for gamers. This is an RGB fan pack from Up Here. They are really awesome RGB fans that come in at a really nice price point, and we're gonna be putting that in the Matrix 30 case from Deepcool. Now this combo is really cost effective. The case is really cheap at around 30 bucks, and then you get RGB fans for about $20 to $30. You're getting $60 case with tempered glass. This actually has tempered glass on it. You might think it was acrylic for $30, but it is tempered glass, and you can load this thing up with RGB and have a really awesome case for around $60. So this is a good option if you do want to save money. You can always spend more money on a case if you want to, but we went this route because it's available and it's actually a pretty nice looking combo. So how about we go ahead and put this build together and see how she performs. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now that we have this PC all put together, let's talk about those benchmarks real quick. Now, the first game we tested was Call of Duty Modern Warfare. We ran this on high settings in the Warzone bot match. Now, do keep in mind the normal Warzone game mode is a little bit more demanding than this bot match, but this is an easy way for us to get a controlled environment and not die instantly so we can get some decent numbers for you. But this thing ran smoothly on this setup. The Ryzen 3 3100 in the 1650 Super is actually a very impressive combo. The 4 cores and 8 threads on the Ryzen 3 3100 make it a great value. And we didn't do any overclocking here with the Ryzen 3 3100. We actually just ran it on stock settings, which it boosted up to 3.9 gigahertz. And you can probably get a little bit more performance out of this thing if you overclock it to, let's say, 4.1 or 4.2 gigahertz. And you can pretty easily do that on a stock cooler. Now, do keep in mind you don't want to overclock it too much and add too much voltage on a stock cooler, but overall, the results are pretty solid. And then when we tested games like Fortnite, we were getting well over 100 plus FPS. This is a pretty awesome entry-level PC if you're wanting to play esports titles, so great option for that. Fortnite is really easy to run on this, especially on pro settings, well over 100 FPS. This could be great for games like Valorant as well, which we were unable to test in this video, but once that game is officially out, we will definitely be adding it to our benchmarking suite because of the demand of this game. And then lastly, we decided to test Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which with the high setting preset enabled, we got around an average of 70 FPS, which is more than playable for a AAA title. Shadow of the Tomb Raider is kind of like our AAA title example, showing that you can play on 1080p high settings at 60 FPS, pretty much most AAA titles out there with this system, and have no problems whatsoever. Now, you most certainly could get a better graphics card with this setup in the future or when you're building this PC. We benchmarked the Ryzen 3 3100 and 3300X in our review video with a 5600 XT and had absolutely no problems with it. There were no bottlenecks even with that card, so definitely consider getting a better GPU if you have the budget for it, because this 3100 or the 3300X can definitely handle some more horsepower. So that pretty much wraps up the benchmarking, guys. Very impressed with the system for the money. At $500, you really cannot beat it, and as long as you have some luck when looking on the market right now, considering that it's kind of hard to find PC parts, if you do find all these parts available at reasonable prices, it's most certainly a great combo that I highly suggest you consider picking up. Now, how about we go ahead and bring Jackson back in here real quick.
All right, so you guys just got to see some benchmarks, and for $500, this thing packs a pretty good punch.
This was a pretty nice build to put together. The Ryzen 3 3100 is a really awesome value processor when you can get your hands on it, and that 1650 Super is still one of our favorite cards, especially for a $500 budget PC.
So while we do love deep cool products, and this case was a pretty decent looking case for $30, and tempered side glass is pretty cool, we do recommend maybe spending an extra like 10 or 20 bucks to get some type of case that has an actual power supply basement. The tempered glass is cool and all, but I'd rather get rid of the tempered glass just to have acrylic and have a basement, because you can have a much cleaner looking build. You don't have to worry about trying to absolutely force and destroy the back panel because your cables are all shoved behind it. So if you can, try to get something with a power supply basement.
So overall, very impressed with this build. If you are interested in purchasing any of the parts for this PC build, links in the description down below. They are affiliate links. If you do use those links, they do help out the channel. And
if you want to check us out on our other 2 YouTube channels, check those out down here. And also don't forget to follow us over on twitch.tv/ToastyBros. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
We'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye. Adios.
Time for another video.
Yay.